I'm here today in a KFC parking lot, KFC, wherein I am about to get some chicken to the surprise of no one. And I'm going to talk for a moment about a bit of criticism that has been levied my way about, like, if you like 4th edition so much, just go play that. Or if you don't like 5e, then just don't play it. And on the surface, these are valid criticisms that, like, why talk about something you don't like, and why not just play the thing you clearly do like? And I wanted to respond to this by saying that it is important to talk about D&D, the current edition of D&D, even if you don't play it. And I do play it. I'm in a campaign right now that has been ongoing for over a year, I think. And we're probably about at the midway point. We're probably going to be playing another year at least. So, like, why would I do that? Obviously, if I don't really care for 5th edition, and the answer should be obvious, because that's the game that we're playing. That's the game that the DM wanted to run. That's the game that people were familiar with. And that kind of situation is going to happen again in the future, where a group gets together and says, hey, we should play an RPG. And the default choice is always going to be, at least for the far foreseeable future, it's always going to be whatever the current edition of D&D is. So right now that's 5th edition. I can campaign for other games, and I can even offer, like, hey, I want to run this other game, Blades in the Dark, D&D 4e, or what have you, whatever it is that I'm in the mood for. That's not always going to fly. Some groups, like, yeah, we only really want to play 5e. And a lot of people are getting introduced to RPGs through whatever the latest edition of D&D is. That has been true for decades and is going to be true for the foreseeable future. So it's important to... So the existence and the state of D&D is always going to be relevant to tabletop gaming, even if you don't personally play it. Now, once this 5e campaign is over, my plan is to never play 5e again. I'm going to put the books aside, and I'm going to be pretty staunch about, like, no, I don't want to play that anymore. For a lot of different reasons, many of which I have voiced on this very channel. But even so, it is still going to be relevant to me as a gamer. And so it's important to understand the state of it and how it is affecting the rest of the gaming culture and the rest of the gaming community. It creates bad habits in players. It fosters certain ideas that don't hold true to the rest of RPGs. And actually, I have noticed that people who have only played D&D are notably... I don't want to say worse role players, but there are certain habits that D&D really fosters in its players. For example, extreme caution and paranoia. You know, you want to be very careful around every corner, assume everything is a trap, everyone might be lying. And these kinds of behaviors make other games less interesting. I had multiple players in my Blades in the Dark campaign, the first one that I ran, that had only played... Well, it's not that they only played D&D before, because there were definitely some non-D&D games that they had played, but they sort of played all the games like you play D&D. And they just were super risk-averse in a game that really encourages you to take risks. Like, you're so insulated against the consequences of your actions in that game because they want to encourage you to do dangerous things. Because that's like the heart of the game. Characters making bad choices and kind of getting away with it because they're, you know, scampy scoundrels. But when you've played D&D, you're like, oh no, I can't jump from this building to that building. What if I fall? It's too great. So D&D is always going to affect the way that we play RPGs. Myself, you, everyone else. It's always going to be this household name, this behemoth in the room that affects the rest of gaming culture. That is why I have opinions about 5e, despite it not being a game that I am looking to play. You know, and you can enjoy playing 5th edition. That's fine. It's not wrong. But I suspect that for a lot of people, playing 5e is enjoyable due to the people that you are playing with and not the game itself. I know that when I play 5e, I have fun in spite of the game because I enjoy the people that I am playing with. I enjoy hanging out with them. I enjoy joking with them, coming up with, you know, crazy, zany scenarios. And it's not because of the game system. It is in spite of it. So that is why I continue to have opinions on 5e. And I think it's not wrong to do so. I think more people probably ought to, even if they have moved on to what I would term better systems.